Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We are just about finished with our unit on how to be on schedule, project management, time management, and talking about basically how to update colleagues on the status of a project or something you've been working on. What we've done so far, besides learning the vocabulary, is revise verb tenses, present perfect and past simple. And we're going to continue that today and then try to apply it to a speaking situation. And we'll probably have to tack on one more class to give you a final project that you can put all this together in and try to apply it all in one realistic situation. But today we're going to continue with our revision of verb tenses. Before we begin, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words you're learning when you are speaking so I can correct you and give you feedback. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And if you hang on just a minute, hi Raphael, if you hang on just a moment, I'm going to give you a link but unfortunately I couldn't get it out last night, so we're going to do it in class as an introduction. It's going to take just a second for me to open this up. Oh, wait, maybe I have the link here. Wait, no, I got the link. Here it is. Okay, so the homework that we're going to look at, I'll give you the link in the chat window. It's this one. I forgot it's already there in the class description as well. So you'll see it there if you want to, and I'll open it on my screen as well. Give me just a minute. By the way, how is life, Raphael?
Life is pretty well.
Good.
It's hot, but interesting.
Okay. Hang on a second. I'm just opening the PDF on my computer. One moment. I hope I didn't download it. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I got to open this. I got to open the link first and then download it. I didn't download it. One second. One moment. Okay, so while this is opening, wow, what's going on? No, I can't seem to get it open. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's a little bit slow. Got it. Okay, so while this is opening, just remind me, were you in class yesterday, Raphael? I can't remember if you were here.
No, I wasn't. I couldn't join your class yesterday.
Okay, no problem. So what we're going to do is it's going to be more of an introduction for you, but that's not a problem. Don't worry. Okay, 1 second here. All right, I'm just trying to download this because I can't open this for some reason. One moment. Download as PDF. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Almost there. Almost. There we go. Okay, so now you should see that on the screen. There we go. Okay. By the way, just a quick word. We have to begin the classes. We have to begin the classes at least a minute before the hour. So if I cut you off like I did to Yuki, don't take it personally. It's just because we really have to begin the class on time. If I don't have a class following it, we can go over a little bit. Like today, I don't have another verbaling class, so if we need to go a little extra, it's okay. But when they're back to back like this, I have to stop a little bit early. Um, and of course, there may be people waiting in the next class too. So it's not just for bureaucratic reasons, it's because people will be waiting. Just so you know. So didn't mean to cut you off before. Sorry about that. All right. So for Raphael, this is going to be a little bit of a introduction, and for Yuki, it should be a bit of a review. I think you were here yesterday. So what I'm going to do, we'll move forward here. I've given you two short exercises. I want you to think about the use of the present perfect in particular that we talked about yesterday, and some of those key words. And you're going to try to fill in this dialogue first. First thing you're going to do, and I'm going to get the presentation on screen as well from yesterday. Give me just a second to do that. Well, I'm going to open the other presentation and share it with you in just a minute. The one that we're working on yesterday. What happened to Raphael? Raphael? Whoops. I think Raphael's having a connection problem. I think he just disappeared. So, we're going to have to begin with or without him. Can you hear me okay, Yuki? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you clearly.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I don't know what happened to Raphael, but, and also, Jason, Martin, Adair, Adela. Come on, guys. Come on in. Where's everyone? Lately, this week has been really weird with attendance. It's like the week before, the class was booked, 9 people every class. This week, it's been very strange. So I don't know what's going on. I guess everyone's on holiday. I don't know. All right. So let's see if we can give this a shot. Okay. I'm just taking a quick look if there's anything I want to say from our unit. Give me just a second here. I go back to yesterday's class just to do a quick review. We looked at some expressions, for example, and we categorized them. Up to now, so far, since our last meeting, in the last month, today, last week, a couple of weeks ago, this morning, yesterday, to date, just over the last few months, we categorize those to give us an indication of which verb tense would be appropriate with each. So for example, if it's up to now, we know it's got to be the present perfect because it means that the action is not finished. And also, we're talking about a period of time. A period of time with an unfinished action means that it's the present perfect because the past is connecting to this moment in some way. But if we give a specific point of time, like yesterday or in the last month, well, I should actually say just last month, then most likely it's going to be the simple past because the action is complete, it's finished. So keep that in mind as we do this exercise. We can use that as the guide. All right, well, I don't know if Raphael's coming back, but we have to go on with or without him. So let's give it a shot, and hopefully everyone else will join us later. So let's do this together, Yuki.
Okay.
Why don't you take A? Well, I'm not going to, actually, you're going to do this all on your own because there's no point in me doing it. But I'll help read it with you if you like. So you start us off with A, please.
I need to ask David if he decided
Mm-hmm.
he decided to set up the focus group.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think?
Past
Is it
past simple? No.
Well, tell me why. If you can see the reason why, then I will accept it. But if you don't see a reason why, we got to figure out if there's any clues in the sentence
I
that
see.
tell you which tense.
It's a present perfect. So I need to ask David if he has decided to set up the focus group.
Okay, I agree. And how do we know that that's true? You're right, but how do we know?
Because he uh, because I just want to know that he has decided or not.
That's true, but is there a particular word in that sentence which gives you a clue about whether it has to do with the present or the past? In other words, look at the main verb of the sentence. What tense is need?
Main present.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that I think that's the only thing that gives you a clue. That's in the present. So there's nothing else to indicate that we need to change from talking in the present. But since we're going to be referring to something that happened in the past and it's not finished, I need to talk to David because this thing is not, we're not done with the project yet. So the clue for me is that need is in the present. There's no other time indication. So it's got to be has decided because need is in the present. I needed to ask David would be if he decided. Or even better, if it was I needed to ask David if he had decided. It would probably switch to the past perfect. So as we do this exercise, look for clues actually in the text that can help you decide whether it's the present perfect or past simple. Okay? So I agree. Well, we've got Raphael back. I'm glad to see you're back, Raphael. I was worried. Hope
Yeah,
everything's
no,
okay. Okay.
I am having connection problems. Sorry.
Yeah, this week me too. I'm having a lot of connection problems too with Hangouts.
Mm.
Luo, nice to see you as well. Are you okay?
Yes, nice to see you. I'm great, and I'm wondering what is the answer of the shadow company, and
Where were you? Where
I
were
couldn't.
you? We just had that class, Luo. We were missing you.
Yes, so I just wondering that. I know you had this class. So
Oh,
could you
okay.
tell me?
I can't tell you the answer to that. I could tell you, but then I'm afraid you would be arrested or something, because the shadow industry would get you.
No, I don't think so. I don't
I think
believe.
so. I think so. I can't tell you that. I can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
But
too
but
mysterious.
but here's what you can do. Come to the next great short stories class and give me your theory. I'd like to find another story by that author as well, because they're short but they're deep and they're fun. So they're perfect for the class. I'm going to see if I can find some others. So if I can, then we can talk about all of his work as well, not just the story that we're reading. So bring your theories to the next class and we'll talk about it. Deal?
Deal. Let me see. If I found a great story, I will do that. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll look for stories too, so don't worry about that. I'll try to find more. Listen, Raphael, Yuki said that it's the present perfect in A, so you're going to try number 2 in B, person B. Yuki said, I need to ask David if he's decided, or if he has decided to set up the focus group. What do you think the response is? And tell me if there's any clue in the text that will help you make that decision, if it's the present perfect or simple past. Okay, Raphael?
I think we have an important clue. Is at the beginning of the sentence we have a present tense, and for this reason, I think is the action is still going on. It hasn't finished.
Right.
Still, for this reason, I think it's present perfect. You need
Absolutely. Okay. What about 2? Do two for us, Raphael.
You too. Don't worry. I blank already speak to him about it. Don't worry. I have already.
Mm-hmm.
Already also is an action that still don't finish.
Right.
I have already spoke. Don't worry. I have
Spoke or spoken?
spoken. I have already spoken to him about it.
I agree. So it's the present perfect.
Person prefer to.
Right. And here's a shortcut for all of you to remember, but particularly if you speak a Latin language like Spanish. Here's a shortcut. When you see words, adverbs like already, yet, just, never, always, for, and since, when you see those 7 adverbs, you know it's the present perfect. 99% of the time, it'll be the present perfect, because those are the adverbs that talk about a recent past. So, or a past that hasn't finished yet. Oh, there's the word yet. Okay? So when you see already, a red flag should crop up in your mind. A bell should go off. Oh, that must be the present perfect. Like, I've already done it. It would be an answer we might say with already that you might recognize. Okay? And it's different because in Spanish it would be the simple past. Right? So think about those, particularly if you speak Portuguese, Spanish, Romanian, French, Italian, because that will give you an easy way to remember when it's the present perfect. Okay, so far we've got, I need to ask David if he's decided. Don't worry, I've already spoken to him about it. Luo, what about number 3?
Number 3? Really? When did you see him?
Very good. When did you see him? And why is that the past simple? You're right, but why? What's the clue?
I have no sense of the grammar. I just think it's if I say when did you see him, it's more naturally. I don't know.
You're right. It is. It sounds right. The key word here is when. When you ask when, you're going to be talking about a specific period of time. So for specific periods of time, that would be the past simple. When did you do it? I did it yesterday. The present perfect refers to the past in more general terms, not specific terms. So the clue is when. When followed by the past simple. Is that clear, Luo?
Yeah, pretty clear.
Fantastic. Okay. So Yuki, we're on to you for number 4.
Okay. Number 4. I number really? Yeah. No.
No. Number 4. Next one down.
I'm sorry.
Don't forget, Luo said.
I have called him first thing today.
Wait a second. Luo said, when did you see him? Number 3.
Okay.
So
I called him first thing today.
Exactly, because it's a response.
Past simple.
So it's a past simple because it's a response. And number 3 was in the past simple, so number 4, as a response, has to be in the past simple because we're asking about a specific point in time, specific event that's finished. Okay, so we're back to Raphael for 5. So far, so good, everyone. Raphael, what do you think about 5?
Number 5. What he said in the past perfect. In the past simple past.
You're right. Past simple.
Past simple.
But you're missing the auxiliary verb because you said what he said.
What he said.
It's a question. So
what does he say?
Is that the past?
What did he say?
What did he say? Right. What did he say? That's it. But what did he say?
Sometimes you can use without the auxiliary verb when you are asking question with what or who? Could
Nope,
you
not
skip?
possible.
No, not possible. Yeah.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you speak British English, they will sometimes only use the verb have. So if the sentence has have, like have you any, but that's British English, and in my American English, that is not possible. It sounds like 19th century Charles Dickens English or Jane Austen English or something. So in American English, it's basically not possible. Basically, I mean, you can do it sometimes, but basically it's not. So to make things simple, you could just use American English. A question always begins with do, did, does, and the only difference would be if you change the verb tense. If it's the present perfect, right? Have you got any? Have you seen him? Okay, in that case, it's a different auxiliary verb. The only exception, the only time you don't use an auxiliary verb in American English is with the verb to be. How are you? Right? That's the exception. With the verb to be, there is no auxiliary verb. So if you want to make your life simple and you choose American English, it's a little bit easier because it's more uniform. Okay? For British English, there's two exceptions. The verb to be and the verb to have do not necessarily need an auxiliary verb. But if that's confusing, just skip it and use American English because it's a little bit more regular, let's say. The language is a bit more regularized. Because in the 19th century, our good friend Noah Webster got very upset with the way we spelled words, and he tried to simplify the language with his dictionary, and some of the grammar was also simplified a little bit, made more regular. But in British English, they still hang on to a lot of the historical forms of words, the spelling, and old grammatical forms. In some ways. In other ways, they don't. But that's another story. Okay, so that's a long explanation. To make things simple, use do. It makes things a little more simple. Okay, so Raphael said, what did he say? Luo, what's the answer?
He. Let me see.
He
didn't
blank. Oh, sorry.
He didn't make up his mind yet.
Yet? One of those 7 words, yet.
Yet.
That's one of our 7 words. That's one of our 7 adverbs, remember? Yet, still, just, never, always, for, since. When you see those 7 words...
Oh, he haven't make up his mind yet.
He is third person. He haven't? It's third person. It needs an S.
He hasn't.
Good. That's it.
Hasn't.
That's it. Okay, there's 2 blanks there, Luel. Keep going. You're doing
He hasn't. Yes, he hasn't make up his mind yet. He needs some documents from the head office, and they still hasn't arrived.
They is plural.
They still haven't arrived.
Very good. So the first answer is hasn't made, not make, but made. And the second answer is haven't arrived. Okay? You had the right idea, but I heard you say make instead of made. Okay, but you had the right idea. Okay? Let's keep going. Yuki, 8.
8. Have you finalized all the arrangements for Mr. Ing's visit yet?
Perfect. Raphael, 9.
I'm dealing with it now. I have fixed a date for him to come and visit the 19th.
Very good. I've fixed. Good. Okay, Luo, 10. You can read A and B there. What about?
Okay. What about Bob?
Sorry, fix here past sentence, past simple.
No, present
No?
perfect. He had it right.
Okay.
I have fixed a date because it's like it's a recent past that we don't know when it occurred. There's no specific time given, so we use the present perfect. If he said, I fixed a date yesterday, we could use the past simple. But there's no time reference, So we use the present perfect.
Okay.
Yeah?
I see.
Okay. Luo?
Mm-hmm. What about Bob? I think he needs to be there. That's fine. I have spoke. I have spoken to Anna a couple of days ago, and the 19th is fine for him too.
A couple of days ago.
Yes, I spoke. I have spoken. I think it's I have spoken.
But do you have a specific time reference here?
No.
Yes?
So I have to use past perfect
Nope, past simple.
past simple.
Yeah.
Um,
So Luo,
oh,
what's the
uh,
specific time being referenced here? Tell me the words that show you the specific time.
a couple of days ago.
Yeah, yeah. That's like the same as saying at 5 o'clock or in
Oh,
1997 or yesterday. It's a specific time,
okay.
right? So
Okay,
the answer is spoke.
okay, spoke. Mhm.
Okay, very good.
But
So
in my mind, sometimes couple of days can refers to three days.
that's well, couple is two, of course, because it's a couple, so it's two.
Just for two.
Yeah, because it's a couple.
Oh,
A couple is
oh,
always two.
all right, okay.
Sometimes people are lazy about how they use the word couple, but couple means two, so it really means 2 days ago. But the key word here is ago basically refers to the past simple all the time. I can't think of an example where it doesn't refer to the past simple, where we don't not refer, where it doesn't use the past simple. So maybe it's something else you can make a mental note. When you see ago, it's going to be the past simple. So that's a shortcut. Okay, Yuki, what about
Okay.
11?
11. Have you arranged the visit to the warehouse yet?
Perfect. Raphael, 12?
Yes, I yes have I just have
Organized.
organized that for the afternoon.
Mhm. Let me just hear you say just.
Yes,
I'm hearing ya instead of ja.
just.
Perfect. So, yes, I've just organized that. Yes, I've just organized that. Repeat.
Yes, I've just organized that.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. Luo, you get to read A and B again.
Okay. What about dinner that evening? I booked a table yesterday and the
Good.
meal. I hope that's okay.
Perfect. So past simple because it's yesterday. And Yuki, last one.
Fine. That all sounds excellent. You are very excellent.
You are very excellent. You are very efficient. But
Sorry. You have you have been very efficient. Sorry.
efficient. Efficient. Second syllable. Efficient.
You have been very efficient.
Very good. That's it. So it's the present perfect again because we don't know when it happened. There's no time reference, so we've got to use the present perfect to talk more generally about the past. That's it. Okay. I've got one more very short one. Let's take a look if it's worth doing. Hang on just a second. Oh, what's wrong with this? There we go. Is this right? Do I have the right one? Hold on. Yeah, that's right. Okay, fine. Sorry. I can't turn the page. There we go. Okay, finally, let's see what we're doing here. We're just matching. So based on the verb tense and based on what you think the sentence means, but really based on the verb tense, you've got to try to match the two parts here. Okay? So shall we just go around the room like we've been doing? Is that okay? If that's all right, then Raphael, you're going to be our first victim. So might want to take a minute to read through the possible answers first. Okay? So actually, let's read the answers first so that's fresh in your mind. The first one is the result of the contract bids was announced yesterday. Everyone, what's a bid? What does that mean, to bid? Is that clear what that means?
Bid is to offer your price to this to
Right.
have a chance to win this contract.
That's right, that's right. So like offering the best price or trying to get the best price, everyone can name their own price, and whoever is the best one will win the contract. Okay? I only canceled the order. I didn't reorder or complain. They're announcing the results of the contract bids now. I'm expecting to speak to the caterers. Caterers are what? Who are caterers? Is that clear? Caterers?
Someone serving food
Plus
and
it's a
entertain.
company.
Sounds good, yeah.
But the first character doesn't capitalize it, so I don't think it's a company.
Could be a company, yeah, sure. Caterers can be a private company that you hire, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, could be,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, Yuki, what were you saying? I would cut you off.
Yes, yes.
Same
It's
thing?
a company or something, someone who provide foods
Exactly. Okay,
and
fine.
service.
Right, right. Okay, and then E, I was expecting to speak to the caterers this week. It's 5 o'clock on Friday. I'm about to leave the office. And finally, I canceled the order a couple of minutes ago. Okay, so those are our choices. Raphael, is your connection working now? Are you there?
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Right.
All right. By the way, if any of the 2,000 people watching the class want to come in, we got plenty of space. Come on in, viewers. Just press the join button. Okay, Raphael, can you take number 1 for us?
Has our bid for the contract been successful? Expecting to speak about it. I think it could be. Yeah, the result of the contract bids was announced last week.
Well, hang on a second. The question is in the present perfect, right? Has our bid been? Has been. So hang on a second. Let's see if that matches. Has our bid been successful? The results of the contract bids was announced last week. So, well, you could answer a present perfect question with a simple past. It is possible. But something doesn't sound right with that answer to me. What do you think, class? Do you agree or disagree? Something doesn't seem quite right with that answer. What do the rest of you think? Yuki, Luo, what do you think? Do you think that sounds... Something doesn't quite match for me. I'm not sure what it is. Do you agree or disagree? Or do you think Raphael is right? Or you're not sure?
I think Raphael is right. Yes.
So that means 2 in favor. I'm against. Luo, are you...
I'm not sure because I didn't go through all the statements here.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's get back to that one. Something doesn't sound right to me for that question. So maybe there's a mistake. We'll see. Luo, let's
perhaps C could be.
Yes. Why is C the better answer? You're right. Why is C the better answer?
Because in the first sentence they are talking about what happened right now. The correct answer is it's still not happened, but it's happening right now. They are announcing the results on the contract now. Yeah.
I agree completely because it says now, so it matches better. Yeah, they're announcing the results now. Okay, sounds good. So C, number 1 is definitely C. Luo, number 2.
Number 2, was our bid for the contract successful? Was our bid for the contract successful? I was. The result of the contract bids was announced last week.
Absolutely. So that one is A. Absolutely. Because was is a past simple, and we've got last week, our time indicator for a specific moment. I agree. Okay, so far so good. Yuki, what do you think about 3? Yuki, turn on your mic. Uh-oh, I don't hear Yuki. Can everyone hear me okay?
No, I
Yes.
can't. Not. Yeah, I can hear you, but not Yuki.
Yuki,
Yeah.
if you're there, just write something in the chat window. Maybe he lost his connection or something. Okay, we'll get back to Yuki. So Raphael, let's take number 3, and we'll get back to Yuki in a minute when he fixes the problem.
Have you spoken to the caterers,
Caterers.
caterers this week?
Mm-hmm.
D could be. I am expecting to speak to the caterers sometime this week. It is Wednesday.
Right. So it's D.
Uh,
Basically, an ongoing, unfinished action. I agree. That's it. Okay, and Luo, what about 4? Now this one is the simple past, isn't it?
Yes. Did you speak to the caterers this week?
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to speak to the caterers this week. It's 5 on Friday. I'm about to leave the office.
Right. So the answer is probably no, I didn't speak to them, right? So E, I was expecting to speak to them. It's 5 o'clock on Friday, I'm about to leave the office, but I didn't get a chance. So I agree. I was expecting. That's the past continuous, but it fits because it's still about a specific period of time. It's 5 o'clock on Friday. Okay, Yuki, is your microphone working now? Hello, Yuki? Verbling to Yuki. No, Yuki. Okay, we're back to Raphael for number 5.
Number 5. I've just cancelled.
Cancelled. Good.
I've just cancelled the other.
Mm-hmm.
B. I only cancelled the other. I didn't reorder or complain.
I agree. And so that leaves us with only one possibility, Luo, for number 6.
I just canceled the order. I canceled the order a couple of minutes ago.
So we've got a problem, don't we? because I said I agree with Raphael, but actually I shouldn't have agreed because
so you make me you make a trap for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I trapped you. So actually, B is for F, isn't it? I'm sorry. What am I saying? 6 is actually B because I've just canceled the order is the recent past. It's not a specific moment. It's the recent past. I've just canceled the order. So it's got to be, that's going to be F. So I mix them up. Yeah. So Raphael, I should not.
Okay.
I think you said. I think you switched them, and I said okay, but that was my mistake.
No, it doesn't matter.
I think it was. I could be confused. I don't know. Well, we lost Yuki. I don't know what's going on with Yuki. Yuki, come back. We'll miss you, Yuki. Oh, look at all this. We've got all these people out there in the chat window too. I didn't see. Oh my goodness. My problem is that it's very hard to follow the chat window when I'm talking with all of you. That's my problem. So, come on in, everyone. Plenty of room. Let's see if some people join us. Okay, what we're going to do then is go to our, we're going to go to a speaking activity where you get to use this in a more realistic way. All right? Give me just a second. I'm going to put the going to put the presentation on screen for you. One moment, please. Okay, there we go. So I got to move forward. Oh, there we go. Okay. So starting here at Language at Work, starting here, updating people or colleagues on a current project using the present perfect or past simple. So we've done a little bit of work. So we've looked at those key expressions like up to now or yesterday to help indicate what tense should be used. Yesterday we categorized that whole list, which you can see on screen right now. We categorized each of those words into present perfect words or past simple words. Now what you're going to do is update each other on a project. Give me just a second here. Okay. Let me just see where we can start here. This one is a little bit. I think we can start here. Okay. So can I just ask you, who's here? So Raphael, can I just ask you if you could read the, oops, why am I on the wrong page? What happened? Hold on. Let me get here. Okay, so we've got two people right now. So we've got two people. We can have student A and student B together here. Okay, so I believe student A, Raphael, you're going to be student A. Your to-do list is going to be on slide 12. You can see it in front of you. Okay, can you just read your situation there for us, Raphael?
Yeah. Student A, you were unexpectedly called away from the office and left a list of tasks of your
tasks
Good. For your colleague to do. It is now 4 p.m. and you are back in the office. Ask your colleague about the tasks on the to-do list.
Okay, that's good. Is that clear what you got to do?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And Luo, can you read student B? What do you have to do?
Yes, I have to decide which two tasks I have done on the to-do list when they were done and what exactly I did. Decide which two tasks I haven't done and think of an explanation why.
So you've got to be a little bit creative here. And hang on a second, because I've got two sets of to-do lists. I think they're different. Okay, fine. Okay, let's go with this one first. You can see it on screen. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger as well so you can see it a little bit up close. There you go. All right. Do you need a little time to prepare, or are you ready to go? The main thing you can, oh, by the way, don't forget, if you go down to the end of the document, you've got, you can always cheat by looking at the key expressions, which you will find on slide 15. And these you should use proactively when you do this activity, asking for an update, giving an update, clarifying a problem, making a suggestion, responding to suggestions. We've seen this in earlier classes, but just to refresh your memory, go to 15 to use any of those key expressions. Okay? So let's give it a shot. Are you ready, guys?
Yep.
Okay. Hello. It's 4 p.m. You're back in the office and you're talking to Luo.
Hello, Luo. How is going on?
How's it going?
How is going?
Oh, yes. Actually, there are lots of work to do. I've print out and collect 6 copies of a proposal to submit to management already.
Oh, perfect. It was so important to print it out, this proposal to the management. And what about for the management?
In this case, you're going to say 4. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. What about have you checked the delivery date to the contact office suppliers.
Raphael, I'm going to give you a little suggestion here. What you said is good, but to sound more natural, you might say you want to soften the message a little bit because the question is a little direct. So you might say, "Hey, have you had a chance to? Have you had a chance to?" Try that.
Yeah. Have you have a chance to contact the office supplier to check the delivery date? The delivery date.
Well, I haven't have the chance to
Haven't
contact.
had.
I haven't had a chance to contact the office suppliers. Sorry about that. I'm too hectic. You know,
It's too hectic.
it's too hectic.
Yeah. Well, remind it before we went out of the office. We need to have this contact made it, if you don't mind, please. And what about have you had a chance to email to the staff with the agenda for the next team meeting?
Oh yes, I'm so happy to tell you. I emailed all staff with agenda for next team meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I can remember right now, did you did you did you did you compile mailing list for this year's brochure?
Brochure. Repeat. Brochure.
Brochure.
Good.
Brochure.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have time to compile the mailing list. I haven't compiled them.
Yeah. Well, we have about 2 hours to do all these things, and the other that is that we gave you in the to-do list. Do you remember another one? I could forget in the to-do list another things to do.
What do you ask me to do? Sorry.
If you remember another things that I
Another
could,
thing?
yeah, another thing that I couldn't remember right now about in the to-do list, there were another thing.
Were there other things, or was there anything else? Is a more clear way to ask. Anything else? Anything else? Raphael.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Do you
Was there
remember?
anything else? Yeah. Good.
Oh, actually, I don't think there were anything else you noted on the to-do list. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So wrap it up. What are you going to say to end this little informal meeting, Raphael?
well, congratulations. We need to still continuing doing the same work in the afternoon.
Yeah, I will take a part. I will give my hand. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Look, I've got a few comments there in the chat window, just to be clear. If you're instead of saying, "Do you remember another one?" or "Do you remember another task?" that is not as clear as saying, "Do you remember anything else?" Right? Do you remember anything else? So the key word is anything else, because in Spanish it's like saying mais o menos, right? Am I right, Raphael?
Yes, I'm right. Thank you.
Yeah. So it translates differently in a Latin language. So instead of saying anyway, so the key word is anything else. Okay. Also earlier, what else I want to say? Instead of saying I can remember, that's the only thing I can remember, you might want to say that's the only thing that comes to mind. That's our expression, comes to mind. I don't remember if that was Luo or Raphael, one of you. I can't remember. So that's the only thing that comes to mind is an expression that means the same as remember, but it sounds more natural maybe. Is that clear? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, and one last point. Remind has to be used in a very specific way. So remind somebody, or it reminds me. You can use it about yourself. But if you're going to talk more in general, like you said, remind at the end of the day, you can't use it that way because it's transitive. You have to remind somebody. So you could say, instead of saying remind, say, don't forget, before we go, don't forget to tell me, or don't forget about, or don't forget to remind me. You can use it in any of those ways, but don't forget is maybe a little bit more clear. All right. Sounded pretty good, actually. It sounded pretty good. Keep some of those key expressions in mind. And I've got one last thing for us to try here. Think of 5 personal goals or plans you've had during the last 6 months. Think about those. You're going to tell your partner which of these you have achieved and when, and give a few details. Which have you not achieved and why? So Luo and Raphael, start thinking about some of those. Let me give you my own example. Five personal goals. Well, I can tell you that I've tried to put in a planning methodology because I'm working in so many schools. I think, let me see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually working at 4 schools and I have private students. So it's like 5 different areas I've got to plan. So it's a lot. So what I tried to do, one of my goals, I've been trying. I have been trying. Present perfect continuous. I've been trying to put in this system, this productivity system, where I plan in different stages. But it's really hard to put into practice. So I don't think I've actually achieved it. So for example, in any day, I'll be planning for a little bit for tomorrow. I'll do a different kind of planning for next week. And then I'll spend a half an hour doing a different kind of planning for next month. So kind of different levels of planning. It hasn't gone that well because in reality, things can get really confusing fast. So that's one of my goals. A new goal is to learn Italian. Well, I did get my material to learn Italian, so that's pretty good. I gathered a lot of free material, so that's been working out, but I haven't actually put it into effect. And that's another goal I've had. Let's see. I did that last week, so I got my free material. Um, I've applied to a few schools for the fall because I wanted to find a place that had a contract, and here in Portugal it's very hard to get contracts. So I've done that, and I've been doing some interviews for the last 4 weeks actually. So that's been going pretty well. So those are some of my projects and how they have or have not been successful. Basically, everything's kind of moving along pretty well. No major problems. Well, there's always problems, but but things are going on pretty well. So I'd like to hear a little update from the two of you using the present perfect continuous, and past simple as necessary. Okay? Want to give me a little update? Maybe Raphael, what do you think? Do you have some things in mind?
Yeah, in the last 5 months or 6 months, I've been trying to improve my English as much as I can, trying to develop my skills, join classes at Berlin as much as I can. Many times I could do it for 1 hour per day, and others perhaps I couldn't. I could have more classes joined. And the other task that I trying to achieve in the last 6 months.
I have been trying to achieve. Present perfect. Yeah.
I have been trying to achieve. It has been playing paddle better than I did it. I did it, and I have
playing what?
Paddle. Paddle is a kind of tennis.
Paddle? I've never heard. What is that? You mean like? Is it indoor?
Yeah, it's indoor. It's with 4 people.
Oh, we call
similar
that
to doubles, but it's with a different racket than tennis.
It's not squash, right? You're not.
No, Is I have heard it's played only in Argentina, in France, and here in
Ah, okay.
Spain.
I
It's
never heard of it. Okay.
yeah. Later I'll send you a link. It's interesting. It's very funny, and also it's a social it's a social play, and you have and later you could hang out with your mates. It's
Right,
very
right, right.
interesting.
Okay, very
Uh,
good.
that's all for now.
Okay, so before we go to Luo, let me just give you two pointers. One, when you say many time, we got a problem because time is not it's not um, it's not a countable thing like water. We can't say many water, right?
Hmm.
We can say much water, like there's too much water in the tank or something. So to get around that problem, you can say a lot of. A lot of the time, I could only attend 1 hour a day, a lot of the time, instead of many times. Now listen, if you make it plural, it'll sound okay. You say many times, that will actually solve the problem too, now that I think about it. Okay, so that's one point. Is that clear, Raphael? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a
That,
basic error, but I
but
made a lot of
okay,
them.
but then let's do this. But then let's schedule a class where we work on that grammar point
Okay.
because we can try to do that during the week. If you tell me when you're available, I'll make a grammar class where we work on countable and uncountable nouns, for example. Something we could do, just so you know. There's also private tutoring, but I'm saying since that's a point that everyone has trouble with, we could even make a grammar class out of it. Well, that was the main thing. The other thing is the use of it, but that's a lot harder to fix. When you have a subject, you don't say it. It's only one or the other. So I can't remember exactly what you said, but um, it was the last thing you said about paddle. Well, I can't remember exactly what you said. I have to listen to it again. But just be aware that I hear a lot of Spanish speakers making that mistake where they'll say, um, I don't know, a book, it is something you read. But if you say book, you can't say it because it refers to book. But like I said, that's a lot more subtle and difficult to explain, difficult to catch. Okay? So don't worry about that one so much. The first one's easier to fix, and we can do that together. Luo, what about you? Before we run out of time completely, what about you? Can you think of a few goals and give us an update?
Because yes, the last 6 months I have been trying to improve my English also in verbally, and as much as I can take the class. I mean, but sometimes I had my own business and I should care about my business, and so I
I've
had I
I've
finished.
had to. I've had
I,
to.
I've had to deal with my clients, and I
Right.
finished one project, and so I think last day I went to the dentist to have teeth cleaned. It's a little bit um, uh,
That's a good
uh, um,
project.
unexpected. I had a bad tooth, one bad
Oh
tooth.
no.
Yeah, yeah. Um, no some specific things. No, I don't know.
Your
I
teeth
don't know. Some things comes into mind. Actually,
comes to mind. Comes to
comes to
mind.
mind. Comes to mind. Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, the key here is just to hear you use the present perfect and past simple. So we had a lot of practice today, which is good. Um, Here's the plan. We're going to stop now, but I think we're going to have one more class for this unit before we stop completely. What I'd like to do in the final class is give you a chance to put together all the skills we've worked on so far. So that's key expressions, these verb tenses, and the vocabulary words that you practiced in the homework on Monday, and we practiced last week as well. We're going to try to put that all together. So I think it's going to have to be Monday. We're going to have our case study. So that's usually a business meeting or something realistic that you might do at work. Okay, we'll try to put that together in one class. There'll be speaking, there'll be problem solving, just like real life. Okay, so look for that on Monday, and tomorrow there'll be a 2-hour. I think tomorrow is a 2-hour class on hot topics. If there's a particular hot topic you want to talk about, send me a message and I'll see if I can prepare a class based on that. Otherwise, it'll be something in the news, something interesting, something controversial, and we'll read about it in the first hour and we'll discuss it in the second hour. That's the plan, okay? So, good job, everyone. I will see you tomorrow at 10 GMT and 11 GMT for Hot Topics. Bye for now. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.